YouTube. YouTube. What up? Let's get some people on here. Let's get some people on here. Come on. Come on. Let's get some people on here. Let's get some people on here. Come on. Come on. Do I see anyone? All right. Until I see some people, we're going to give you a little tour of Rochester. For those of you, there we go. We got somebody. Somebody say something. Somebody say something. Listen, real quick. Earlier, don't know what the fuck happened. But I'm gonna call it technical difficulties. Those of you who saw a live stream earlier today, this morning, when I went to the Monroe County, New York Sheriff's Office, Substation B, and it all has to do with the video that I will be posting tonight. Tonight, I'll be posting the video. But all I want to say is, after waiting outside a little bit to talk to a supervisor, there we go, we got some people on here. Thumbs up. After waiting outside for a little bit, and it'll all make sense. Those of you who haven't watched the video, it'll make sense if you go back and watch the live stream video. There we go, one more. Once I got in, and a Captain Wagner, once I got in and sat down, you know, I don't want to enter in some conspiracy theory here, but, you know, normally I don't buy into a lot of the, like, right away, you know, it takes a lot to think, you know, for me to think some other shit, so to speak. But I don't know what happened. As soon as I got in, and I think I was sitting down in the video, like, the connection just went. And I don't mean the connection like for just YouTube Live. Like, my phone just, like, wasn't the same. And then me, because I always tell people, I give them the advice, whenever you're speaking to law enforcement, always, and I mean always, big capital bold letters, always record your interaction. So when I saw that, you know, it was strange because I was out in the cold, and usually, like, iPhones, sometimes I'm not a super tech guy, but iPhones, they start acting up or whatever in the cold, and it was just strange, you know what I mean? And I'll leave it at that. I don't know if they have some, like, concrete whatever in there. I've heard that sometimes you get into a police station or whatever, or any government building, and your shit just shuts down, your phone. I don't know. And one thing that I'm not proud of, and again, I'm not perfect here, been doing this for a long time, but even I make mistakes sometimes, is you have to always have a backup. Always have a backup recording device. And usually I do, okay? Whether it's my GoPro, whether it's a couple other more discreet devices that I don't want to get into, but trust me, I always have at least one backup. And today I didn't. I did not have anything but my phone. So once I saw that everything just shut down, you know, I left. So, you know, I did talk to a supervisor later, which will be in the video. You know, I'll tell you a little bit about, you know, what he said to me. And again, it'll all make sense when I post the video this, you know, tonight. The video about the incident that happened with the Monroe County, New York Sheriff's deputies. Basically, a deputy refused to give me his name. And that's a big no-no. And even the captain, I got to give a little shout-out, because sometimes you gotta give a shout-out. I actually got to shout-out Captain Wagner from the Monroe County, New York Sheriff's B substation. Captain Wagner. Because, you know, obviously, me and these folks are never going to agree or see eye to eye on everything. And I will respect, you know, if they show me respect, I don't have any problem showing respect back. And he showed me respect. We talked on the phone. He did tell me that he does not approve of the deputy refusing to give me his name. He tried to explain that, you know, sometimes everyone's different, and for some reason he chose not to. But, you know, Captain Wagner was cool. I mean, I gotta, as cool, put it like this, as cool can be. I mean, as cool as it's gonna get between me and a cop, which obviously they know what I do. I know what they do. I know they spin. I know they cover up. But what are you gonna do? I mean, we still gotta, you know, try somewhat to respect each other to a certain level. And if they show me respect, I have no problem showing respect back. Me and him had a good conversation. So shout out to Captain Wagner. For those of you that say I never commend cops or, you know, give a shout out to somebody, you know, whether there's good cops or not, which that's up for debate. Congratulations on getting almost 3,700 subscribers. Thank you. I appreciate it. Steven, what's up, man? Thank you. I'm sorry I'm driving, but I'll try to look at the... Thank you. I know it's, you know, I'll mention this. So again, shout out to Captain Wagner. I'll post the whole video tonight. It'll make sense. Sorry about earlier with the technical difficulties as far as on the YouTube. I don't know what they got in that building, but that's never happened before, that I go into a building, you know, maybe because I was out in the cold for a while. I don't know. I mean, it's getting cold in Rochester, you know what I mean? It's right now in my outside it's 43 degrees right now in Rochester. For those of you that are not from up north, I know I got, you know, viewers in Florida and nicer climates. Shout out to the 305 Miami. Listen, let's do something different real quick. It's starting to get dark here. Since I got some of you watching here, and some of you will come on later after this video posts. Let me show you a little bit. I'm gonna flip the camera. If I don't screw this up here, work with me. I'm gonna flip the camera. We're gonna go on a little mini tour of Rochester. Y'all ready? Let's do a little tour. So I'm gonna flip the camera. Let's see if this works. There we go. Let me adjust a little bit. We're flipping the camera and you're riding with me. Davy V TV live and direct from Rochester, New York. Those of you not familiar with Rochester, we also call it the 585. That's our area code. We call it the Rock. We call it the ROC. Some people call it Rock Town. Some people call it Rock City. Personally, I like 585, the ROC, and the Rock. We're going to give you just a little mini tour here. Oh, I got more viewers. Shout out to everyone for tuning in and taking a little bit of your time, of your day, to ride with me. I really appreciate it. I love all of y'all. I know it sounds cliche and everybody says it, from artists, you know, singers, musicians, and that's the same as singers, obviously. You know, actors, actresses, but it really is true. I do this for you. You're my audience. Believe it or not, I love making videos. I enjoy this very much. I like to get more, you know, offer you guys more content, more variety. So I'm glad that you guys are literally enjoying this ride with me. And I don't mean literally the ride now, although I want you to enjoy it too. I mean the ride as in taking this YouTube channel and see where it can go. Can everybody hear me all right? Can anyone comment and just say, can you hear me all right? Just want to make sure you guys can hear me. Somebody should send me a little shout out saying, yeah, we can hear you okay. Thank you, hear you, thank you. So listen, y'all, we on 490 right now. This is 490 West. And this is basically, as you can see the sign coming up, downtown. This is Rochester, this is my hometown. There goes the New York State Trooper there on the right. You guys are getting live action. He was just working on his quota. He was working on the November quota, perfect, thank you. You just saw a live quota One of the first tickets of the month. You just saw it live on Davy V TV. Check it out. This is downtown Rochester, New York. Actually, let's do this. Let's get off here. You guys are riding with me. I love this. I love this. I want to do more of this. I want to do a lot of this. Literally, you know what I mean? Everything's not going to be, you know, recording cops. I mean, that's the majority of what I do. But check it out, Rochester, New York, downtown. Just so you guys can get a little idea about my hometown. As corrupt and dirty a city it is, I still love Rochester. It's my hometown right here. I love Miami too, though. Miami's where I spent the first 9 years of my life. Here we go. Welcome to Rochester. See the sign? Welcome to Rochester, Center City. That big gray building. Let me move this camera a little bit. That big gray building right here. Right there. You see that? See that big building right there? That's Xerox. Rochester is the world headquarters of Xerox. That building right there used to be till they bounced. They got the fuck out of Rochester. That was the world headquarters for Bausch and Lomb. If you guys, you know, some of you use contact lenses or eyewear or all kind of stuff. That's the world headquarters on the left to Bausch and Lomb. And on the right, like I said, that big tower right there, that gray one on the right, that is the Xerox world headquarters right there. This is downtown Rochester. Right here on the left, maybe you can see it. Let me see. Right here is Washington Square Park, the site of a lot of protests and a lot of abuse by the Rochester, New York Police Department. They literally abused a lot of people there, made a lot of false arrests. If you guys remember a few years ago, the Occupy Wall Street protests in New York City and throughout the country, well, that was Washington Square Park was where the protests were here in Rochester. This is Clinton Avenue. We're about to pass Main Street. These are some new buildings that they've added here to Rochester. This right here on the left up here is a very historic corner. I remember it growing up. A lot of old buildings. Let's switch this a little bit. And now they're gutting them all out. You see how they're basically remodeling everything? See that? Those are very historic buildings there. This is downtown police, RPD, downtown section. See it right there? Let me keep my eye on the road here. I want to show you guys before it gets dark and before I wrap the video up. I want to sorry about moving the camera. I just want to make sure you guys have a good good view. I want to show you guys Kodak. Rochester is so much history here, whether it's civil rights, obviously Frederick Douglass, which I've made videos in the past. You can check out Frederick Douglass videos I've made. Frederick Douglass is buried here, so is Susan B. Anthony. So Rochester has a lot of history, civil rights history. Frederick Douglass started the North Star newspaper here, anti-slavery paper. He's buried right here in Rochester, New York's Mount Hope Cemetery. And Susan B. Anthony is buried here. You know, a fighter for women's rights. If it wasn't for her, you know, she never got to see it, sadly, but her work paid off where women can vote. You know, nobody wants to admit sometimes how corrupt and how nasty this country is and was. You know, women couldn't even vote, you know what I mean? And Susan B. Anthony did so much. And unfortunately, she didn't get to see it, but she's buried here in Rochester. Check it out, straight ahead. See them orange lights? I'll take you closer. That's Kodak headquarters right there. And Kodak is a shadow of what it used to be. At one point, Kodak was Rochester, New York's biggest employer. I believe, if I'm not wrong, it employed upwards of 65,000 employees. And that's just here in Rochester. There it is. See Kodak? That's Kodak. We're going to take you closer. See it? Now Kodak, I think, has maybe 3,000 employees. I mean, it's just... Kodak fell asleep, and it's a lesson in life never to fall asleep at the wheel, literally. Kodak, the inventor, and I forget the name now, the inventor of the digital camera, digital photography, lives right here in Pittsford, New York, just outside Rochester, and he worked for Kodak. Kodak basically broke ground on the whole digital era. What did they do? They fell asleep. They didn't keep going with it. They got stuck and they were like, nah, we're not really going to go too deep into this. Let's keep making film. Well, let's keep making film happened that other people took the digital technology to a whole nother level. And that right there is what brought Kodak down to the point where basically there's like maybe a few, like I said, a couple thousand employees. Let's see right here. We're going to turn right over here. This is going to be like our little baseball stadium. Our minor league team, the Rochester Red Wings. They used to be the farm club of the Baltimore Orioles. Now they're the farm club of the Minnesota Twins. And growing up, I used to watch Cal Ripken. Any baseball fans out there? Cal Ripken, who never missed a game in his whole career, started as a Rochester Red Wing. See right here? To the left is the stadium. But this is what I want to show you guys. Check it out. There's Kodak right there. Beautiful building. Look at that. That is Kodak. Now some of the building is occupied by Monroe Community College, which is our local college here. But that's Kodak. Let me give you a better view. Look at that beautiful building. I'll turn around and give you guys a little better look. What's going on? Everybody's quiet. Somebody say something. Let's turn right here. We're going to turn right here. We're kind of going to go around the back of this here. Straight up is the Genesee River. Let me take this off real quick and show you a nice view of downtown. Hold on. That's downtown over there. You see that? You see that? That's downtown. Let's put this back on here. Sorry about the moving the camera so much. I just wanna make sure I give you guys a good little angle. Is this getting boring yet? I won't be offended. Let me know. I just want to show you guys. Usually I like to make videos small because, you know, let's be honest, everybody's attention span is, I know mine is a few minutes. Unless something really, really grabs my interest. But I really enjoy doing this live TV stuff. This Davy V Live. So if you guys ain't bored or falling asleep yet, I'll show you a few more minutes and I want to show you a little better picture of Kodak, a little better view of Kodak. I am just enjoying the tour. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. I wanted to make sure nobody was like bored, like, well, this Cuban guy should shut the hell up and just stop recording. I really appreciate it. You know, it's not easy. I'll be honest with you. It's not easy. It's not easy. Some of you probably know I used to do a cable access show in the 90s called Keep It on the Reel, and you can find it on here. I play with the word reel, like R-E-E-L, like a film or video reel. But, you know, it's not easy. I mean, it's really because, you know, I don't want to send you guys, like, I don't want to just make any kind of video. So I'm really, really trying to bring you guys interesting content. And like I said, it's not always going to be police related, even though that's kind of my niche, for lack of a better way of putting it. But I really want to, you know, bring you guys a variety. Just bear with me here. I'm trying to turn around. You'll see what I'm trying to do here. I mean, Rochester's not New York City, but trust me, it's got some crazy streets, one way, and the street is the city is a very old. I like this. I get what happened to your father, but why give people who put their lives at risk a hard time? I believe that's what it said. I'm sorry if I read it. Well, you know, I'm not going to get into the whole thing with that, but I totally respect. I respect your comment. And I'm sorry that you look at it like that, you know, with much respect. And I love that, because one thing I hate is yes men or yes women. I don't want someone, yes, Davey, yes, you're right. I welcome dissent. I welcome criticism, because that's what really makes dialogue interesting. With all respect, and we're keeping respectful here. Again, I respect your comment, but I respectfully disagree with your statement about giving them a hard time. You know, more and more people, basically, this is what I'll say about it. More and more people are waking up to the realization, including myself. I woke up years ago, so, you know, some folks, unfortunately, are still asleep. That those who we were taught at an early age, like I was, who are the heroes, like I was taught, who are the protectors, those that we should run to and seek shelter with or from when we're running from danger. If that's the case, why dissemble comments? I get the jerks, but I'm pretty sure you can delete in black comments. I love that. I love that. Listen, man, you got to sign on more often, because you got some great questions. I'm going to get to that in a minute, too. I don't want to get too off topic here with the tour, but I'm going to get on that second question real quick. I just want to respect you and answer your first question. So to quickly answer your first question, and trust me, we'll make another video about that, because that's a great question. So please don't think I'm brushing them up. Here's Kodak. There's Kodak again. I just wanted to give you guys a better... That's Kodak right there. So to wrap up real quick, the first question is, it's not so much a hard time. It's that when you go through the stuff that I have gone through in my life and realize that those who I was taught were the good guys, when you see that we've been lied to, when you see that so many officers abused the oath that they took and they swore to protect and serve, when you see that they themselves abuse that power and abuse the law and engage in double standards and engage in misconduct and engage in corruption, okay, and again, abuse the trust, okay, that the citizens, the taxpayers who pay their salaries have in them and have put in them, when you realize that we've been fed a bunch of bullshit, when you wake up one day and you realize that most of what drives law enforcement is generating revenue, when you realize that as much as they deny it, they're more concerned about meeting traffic ticket quotas than truly protecting people. And when you have your little girl who was 5 years old and an ex-con, there's Kodak again, and an ex-con with a criminal history a mile long, goes into a convenience store and is recorded on video threatening to kidnap your child, murder her, decapitate her, and then put her head on the roof of your car. And then you see that those who you are willing to turn to, and you hope that there are some good ones and that someone will care and that they will do something. And when you see that they don't give a shit, then you realize that we've been lied to. Of course, again, I realized it years ago. And then another thing that I've realized more and more recently, and I'm more convinced of it, the thing about when people say there's good cops. Well, let me explain something. If there were good cops, growing up, I was very much against bullying. I was the cool kid in school, the papi chulo, how we say in Spanish, popular with the girls. I had my long little, you know, kind of jerry curl going on in the 80s. Well, sorry about the shaky camera. It's Rochester, New York, Rock City 585, also known as Pothole USA. It's not really known as Pothole USA, but trust me, it's full of potholes. So basically, the one thing that I always stuck up for was the little nerd kid, the little kid with the thick bottle glasses, the little kid with the, the little kid that people refer to as a nerd, you know what I mean, in school. Freshman Friday would come around, and these kids would get hit with eggs. They would get thrown in dumpsters, and I would stick up for them. I would intervene, okay, being against bullying, always. I make the same comparison to police officers. I used to believe, you know what, there's got to be some good officers. Then I realized, if there were good officers, wouldn't they intervene? Wouldn't good officers, so-called good officers, intervene in abuse that they see their fellow colleagues, their brothers and sisters in blue, engage in every single day? Think about it. So that is why I don't even buy into the whole good cop thing no more. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm telling you honestly, and we can agree to disagree respectfully, but I'm telling you honestly that I have a very hard time every time someone says there's good cops. Again, if there were good cops, those so-called good cops would never allow the abuse that goes on every day, abuse that they witness. Because to me, and I'll wrap up with this, if you're not intervening when you see bullying and abuse going on, you are just as bad. You are just as corrupt as those committing the abuse. If you, again, do nothing to intervene in abuse, then you are, in essence, enabling that abuse. That's right, someone said gang. And law enforcement is the biggest gang in the world. They are a legal gang. They are a gang with a clean slate and a license to kill. And perhaps even more disturbing, if it can get even more disturbing than killing someone, right? Which is hard to believe. They do so knowing that only 1% of police officers who are even brought to criminal charges are held accountable. What does that tell you? It is the biggest gang. Listen, I've gotten off topic here, and I forgot the name of who asked those questions. They were great questions, by the way. We need to do this again. I may do, you know, I got some favorite YouTubers and nothing really police related. Thank you to Rational Thoughts USA. And I'm sorry, like I said, I'm trying to drive, so I may not be able to read everything. But I'm sorry, I have forgotten your channel name, Rational Thoughts USA. I'll look you up, and we'll definitely kick it. We'll do a whole. That's what I need. I'm trying to fill out this whole YouTube channel thing. Again, for those of you who don't know, I've had this channel for years, almost 10 years, but I never really did anything with it. I never really, you know, I'm old school. I mean, I never really. I had a cable access show in '95, you know, 9 years before YouTube even existed, before Facebook, before iPhones, before this whole social media thing that we know today, this powerful force that it is, which has its good and its bad parts, which I'll get into it another day, but which I utilize. But I utilize it still as a, you know, as an old school person. So I'm not the best at the tech stuff. I got people that help me here and there. I'm pretty much, you know, trying to take this, you know, take things to another level. But we'll definitely do this. And Rational Thoughts USA, I thank you. I really do. I thank you for your questions, because that's what I would like to do. I would like to open it more up to dialogue. And, you know, again, we don't have to agree on everything. And think about it. How boring and how much not fun would it be to have people agree with me on everything? I wouldn't want that. You know? I try to read. I know you said you've been paying attention. If you want to shoot that, I'm going to pull over real quick. You want to shoot that, you want to shoot that one again? You want to shoot that? I don't want to, I feel bad when I don't see the, you want to shoot that one comment again? I pulled over here. It's just hard. I don't want to drive, and I can't really take my eyes off the road. But I'm pulled over here. If you want to shoot it, I'll wait a couple minutes here real quick. If you want to shoot that one comment. Or, you know, like I said, we can pick it up another day. Been going for almost, let me use my turn signal. You know, but I'm serious, and I'm not trying to offend nobody, because I respect, okay, it's things like traffic stops that bother me, or doing things like forgetting to turn signals. You mean that bothers? I'm gonna take it. I support you with things like criticism. Yeah, I'm trying to understand better. I think I see what you mean. I think that you have like a hard time with my videos of showing. I think I know what you mean, like the Davy V TV dash cam videos, where I show kind of like their double standards or whatever. But that's just it. I respect and please, I'm not trying to be condescending or sarcastic, so please, because I would never disrespect anyone that, like I said, you're contributing. Believe it or not, I need folks like you, who are not afraid to, offer their point of view. That's what I really want with this channel. Otherwise, to be honest, it would be boring to just have people like, oh, you're the best, I love your videos, which I love that. But I also want to hear from the other people. I want to hear from people that don't necessarily agree with everything I do, and I love that. But my thing, I'll hit on it real quickly. My thing is that I understand that you say you have a hard time with that, but what I try to show a lot with my Davy V TV dashcam videos is basically the double standards. In other words, here are folks, let's just look at it like this. Here are folks who, for whatever reason, and trust me, the reasons are varied, because no one disagrees that some individuals, chose to become law enforcement officers for some really disturbing, fucking twisted ass reasons, such as I was saying earlier, maybe they were bullied in school. There are psychopaths on the force. I have talked to retired police officers who were good friends with my father, who respected my dad, old school cops that are long retired, who have told me, Davey, when it comes to the psych evaluations where they got to meet with at least 2 or 3 different psychologists and psychiatrists who ask them different questions, trust me, they can fake it. So no one, I think, debates or would disagree that there are some really sick, twisted individuals as police officers on our streets throughout the country. No one disagrees on that. Please let's just get that straight. I hope no one disagrees with that. Okay. Now the other cops, let's say, of course, there's cops that got in it to do the right thing. But once they get in there, trust me, they realize that it's not how they thought it would be. They realize how strong the revenue generation is with traffic ticket quotas. And come on, all you got to do is Google New York City cop talks about ticket quotas, and I forgot his name, so that you see a fellow Latino brother like myself, Puerto Rican gentleman, I'm Cuban, but fellow Latino, who recorded, he audio recorded, video recorded his superiors telling him, stop people. Doesn't matter for what. Make it up. We need the numbers. We need the quotas. So again, Rational Thoughts USA, to you I say respectfully, I love your point. You make a great point. However, what I choose to do, what I try to do with the Davy V TV dashcam is show the double standards where these same individuals who we pay their salaries have the above the law mentality of do as I say, not as I do. In other words, they get away with literally, and I'm not joking here, they literally get away with murder. Literally. But yet would fine you, would pull you over, would temporarily at least, if not on a more permanent level, take away your freedom to move freely about as a U.S. citizen. Violate your constitutional rights. Illegally search your vehicles. And ticket you for the very same violations that they engage in. Tell me you haven't been riding down the street one day, especially if you live in a state where talking on your cell phone is against the law. Tell me you haven't seen a cop go by you talking on the phone, laughing his ass off. Trust me, not all those calls are work-related. So again, we can go on, and we will. We're not going to make it on this video. Let me show you something real quick. Right there, George Eastman Museum, and right there is the George Eastman Mansion, right there. That's George right there. I know it's a little dark. I'm going to come and do a tour one day in the daytime. That is George Eastman's mansion right there. And George Eastman, if some of you don't know, is the founder of Kodak. So much history right there. That is George Eastman's mansion. Right there. For those of you from Rochester who have, you know, been there, it's a beautiful, beautiful place. Sorry about the shakiness. Listen, we're going on 35 minutes. I'm gonna post some interesting videos tonight. Rational Thoughts USA, get at me. And I don't know if you're a subscriber. I'd be honored if you subscribed. If you haven't subscribed, and we're gonna kick it some more. We're gonna open this up. And oh, I'm sorry, I almost forgot. I'm a man of my word. Like me, hate me, love me, whatever, but I am a man of my word. I almost forgot. You, Rational Thoughts USA, if you're still watching, send me a shout out. Are you still there? Say something so I know you're you hear this. Let me see if you're still on there. All right. My thing is, you asked another very important question about comments being disabled. Very important. The reason comments are disabled, it's not because I don't want people not to comment. And if you know anything about my work, if you know anything about my channel, if you've watched my previous videos, if you watch my video, Why I'm Disabling Comments, I believe that's what it's titled, then you would know that it was very hard for me to come to that decision of disabling comments. And the reason I ultimately did it, the last straw for me, other than the threats to my family, other than the disturbing, just really sick, and again, not the disagreeing, like Rational Thoughts was disagreeing and made some very good points. I don't mean that kind of disagreeing. I welcome that. But I realized that there were certain individuals who were toxic, who were spreading and using my channel and my platform, meaning using all of you guys and girls that are watching, whether you support me or not, whether you like some of the stuff I do or not. But these individuals were using the platform that I'm creating, using my name, in other words, as a platform to get their poison out there, their rhetoric. That is why I deleted, that is why I disabled comments. Not because of any other reason. And to be honest, I may enable them again. But here's the part that's holding me back. YouTube. And again, these are the things that people don't realize. No offense to anyone, but there's people that are literally still asleep at the wheel. Whether they trust the police, whether they're cop apologists, whether they feel the police. I see you. Thank you. I see you. Thank you, Rational, for sticking in there. I'm wrapping up with your point about why I disable comments. So there's people that are still asleep, not only about law enforcement, people who haven't realized that we've been lied to, people that haven't realized that it's a money game when it comes to law enforcement. I'm going to take a little cut here because this is like rush hour in Rochester. But also there's people that don't realize that these social media sites, including YouTube, yes, including right here, this platform, YouTube, as well as Facebook and Twitter, they care very little about threats. They care very little about stalkers. They care very little about individuals such as the one who threatened to kill and decapitate my child. They care very little about these trolls and these haters and these losers literally copying my name and opening up new accounts and new YouTube channels with the same name. That's the last straw. I'm sorry, Rational, nothing against you. Whether you knew this or not, obviously now you'll know it. That was the last straw for me to disable comments, which again was very, very hard to do. Those that know me, I'm not new to this. Do the history on me. Google me. Check out my work. Check out my YouTube channel. Check out my show from the 90s. Those that know me know that I am a fierce advocate of the First Amendment. And I would never, unless there was good reason, I would never disable and block comments from my channel. So please know that. And I'm glad you reminded me, Rational, because it's something that it's something that I fear will turn new subscribers off to see that, hey, this guy blocked comments. Why? I need you guys to know that there's the Davy V that you see here, that you're hearing now, the public image, the angry guy with the bullhorn. There's also the Davy Vara family man. I'm a dad. I'm a family man, and it's hard to put that line. And you literally, I saw your yes, of course, thank you, Rash. I saw your comment, by the way, that you don't hate me, Rash, and I appreciate it. But there are folks that do. There are some really twisted individuals who do hate me, who do basically, you know, would love nothing else than to hurt me and my family. This is real. This is not made up stuff. This is documented. All you got to do is go on my Twitter and you'll see how I post this stuff or repost as a way to document, since the authorities have refused to do anything to protect me and my family because of who I am. Go on my Twitter right now. Go on Davy Vara. Go on my Twitter, and you'll see the last 2 or 3 tweets that I tweeted, and you'll see the disturbing comments that they've put. Losers who start these anonymous accounts, fucking cowards, that they don't have the fucking cojones. Cowards who don't use their real names, who don't use the real profile, profile photo, who hide behind a keyboard like cowards, who wouldn't have the cojones to go out and stand up for something that they believe in, like I stand up for what I believe in. So that is why that is the ultimate straw, is when I saw that not even these social media sites that make millions of dollars off advertising, I don't even make a penny off my channel. I don't even have my YouTube channel monetized. But YouTube and Google and everybody, they're making, I mean, they're owned by Google, they're making millions and billions of dollars. And they haven't even implemented a security measure on the platform to prevent someone from using my name. There's like 3 or 4 channels at least that I've seen that people send me links. Yo, David, you probably don't want to see this, but just check this out. Did you know about this? People who are using my name, people who are using Davy V TV and posting the most sick, revolting, disgusting comments, racist comments. I'm Latino. I got 2 beautiful boys who are African American and Latino. But yet these people are trying to pass themselves off like me and abusing a weak system that these social media sites have, like YouTube and all these platforms like Twitter, where they literally allow these individuals to use the same name. And I'll leave you guys with this. And Rational, if you're still on there, I like calling you Rational for short. Rational, if you're still on there, imagine this right now. Thank you, of course, David. Yep. Imagine this right now, and I'll leave you with this. Maybe you're just, and again, I'm not trying to convert no one here. I'm not trying to, you know, have anyone, hey, come on my side, it's better over here. No, it's not about that. I will respect your opinion as long as we do so in a civil manner. And there's nothing wrong. And at the end of the day, we just like when you shake someone's hand and you tell them, hey, I agree, but you know, let's in other words, let's agree to disagree. That's it. And everybody walks away, you know, a winner, respectful of each other's points of views. But I'll leave you with this, Rational. Check this out. If right now you have a business and you have a domain name, whether you go on GoDaddy.com and you register a name, perfect example. I'm going to tell you a nice name right now. RationalThoughtsUSA.com. By the way, that sounds good. If you haven't registered, I would. It's only like $10, I believe. RationalThoughts.com. Okay, remember that. RationalThoughts.com. Now Davy Vara comes behind you. And I want to register that name. So I want to say, man, Rational Thoughts USA sounds good. I'm going to register that. What would happen? Think about it. What would happen if you already have that name registered? I would immediately get a message that that name is taken, right? Okay. What happens if the last time, which I can't remember the last time I did it, but the last time that anyone went on Yahoo or Google for Gmail or whatever platform, right? And they wanted to get an email. Let's do another example. Rational Thoughts USA at yahoo.com. If that name is already taken, you would get a message on your screen. Sorry, that name is taken. Right? So therefore, how the hell is it possible for an individual who harbors a disturbing hate towards me and my family? Individuals, go look at my Twitter right now. Please look at my last several tweets. Make sure you find the one where the individual's profile says, I am looking at Davy V through his Windows 24 365. Individuals that are basically saying, whether it's real or not, even if it's not true, even if they're just doing it for show. Think about how disturbing that is, that you are telling someone that you hate them so much because you have different views, that you are stalking this person and looking through their windows. Can you imagine that? Go look at my Twitter right now. Go look at these messages. Messages that I've taken screenshots and then I've posted them as my only option in an attempt to at least document these behaviors, because law enforcement won't do a thing because it's Davy V, because it's me, and they could give two shits. So again, and I'm sorry, because listen, I always joke, I'm Cuban and Italian and I can talk all night. I can get really, really long-winded here. But again, promise I'll wrap it up right now. My point with the fact that if you have a name, no one else can take that name, whether it's on a domain name that you registered, whether it's a email name through Yahoo or Gmail, whatever. No one else can take that name, right or wrong. It won't be available to anyone else if you already have it, right or wrong. So how can it be that right now on YouTube, you can punch in Davy V TV? Sorry, it says very bad connection here. How can it be that, not sure if you guys can still hear me, how can it be that other channels, other users can use the same name, Davy V TV? I get it, Davy. Rational, listen, I respect you and I want you to know that. I don't want yes men. I don't want people, just agreeing with everything I do. If they do agree with everything I do, I'll take it. I love it. But I love you bring some very good points, and we're going to hook up again. We're going to do this again, and we'll do it like another little Q&A. And preferably when I'm sitting down somewhere and not driving, so that I can look at all your comments. Listen, once again, stay tuned for some videos. I hope you're hearing this. It says bad connection. I love each and every one of you. Thank you for taking almost an hour. We're at 48 minutes. Uh-oh. Looks like we're back now. It says good connection. So again, yes, it's a shit show right now, especially with groups such as Antifa and Black Lives Matter. Well, and that's another thing for another topic, because those that know me know, yeah, I get it. Those that know, thank you, Rational. Those that know me know how critical I've been of groups like Black Lives Matter. And if you don't know, if it's breaking news to you, just go to the YouTube search bar. I mean, you're watching me on YouTube now. Go to the search bar and search Davy V, Black Lives Matter. And, and you'll see that, you'll see how critical I've been on them. I'm my own, I like to believe that I am my own free thinker. I am Latino. I was raised in a predominantly African-American neighborhood. Those of you from Rochester that are watching, West Side, Ghost Town, That is my neighborhood. Child Street, J Street, Brown Street. And I have two beautiful, like I said, African-American and Latino boys. I have a beautiful daughter. I'm the farthest thing from being racist. But I've done more in this city to stand up for those executed and abused by the Rochester Police Department, which most of the victims have been black. I've done more than black preachers and so-called reverends have done in this city. And I don't say it to brag, it's the truth. But I do have a big problem with Black Lives Matter. And it's nothing new. It's no secret, trust me. Go look at my videos. Davy V, Black Lives Matter. Thank you, Rational. You agree with me on some things. I appreciate that. And again, we're not going to agree on everything. But look at this little boy who was killed by his dad, shot off of J Street in Rochester just a couple of weeks ago. And tonight is election night. The guy was on parole. Killed his son, 2 years old. Had just come home from prison. Where's the outrage over that? Where's Black Lives Matter protesting and speaking out and denouncing the senseless, gun violence that took the life of a beautiful 2-year-old boy? He's black. His life matters. His life mattered. Our mayor, Lovely Warren, who I've been extremely critical of. Where is she tonight? She don't give two fucks about the black community here in Rochester. All she cares about is being elected again. And see, Rational, with all respect, this is what I mean. When you've been exposed this is what I mean. When you've been exposed like I have been exposed to a corrupt criminal justice system, which includes politicians like our mayor, city council members who have sold out. Thank you, Karen. Good point. Thank you, Karen. And when you've seen shit, and I don't know, it's like when you see, like, you wake up and you realize, wait a minute. Wait a effing minute. What the hell is really going on? These people don't care about us. These politicians don't really care about us. All they care about is every 4 years grabbing some babies. Speaking of Kodak, taking some Kodak moments with the babies, some pictures, and getting your vote. And then it's hasta la vista, baby, like Tone Loc said. They don't give a shit about us. And again, Rational, with all respect, I understand we won't agree on everything. And I've enjoyed your contribution in, making the points you made and, and in essence challenging me on some stuff. And I love that. That's what I want. But I want you to kind of understand. Now, you don't have to agree with me. Understand the threat and kind of see. You're welcome. Kind of see the thread that I'm talking about. I'm sorry about the shaky camera and it's so dark out. Obviously, it's like nighttime here in Rochester. Yes, I believe it in things like an eye for an eye. Rational said. So try to understand. You know what I mean? Just try. That's it. Sometimes. I've even done it with police officers. Sometimes you just try to understand. Try to fall back and say, wait a minute. Let me look at it this way. Let me look at it another way. Somebody say something real quick. Can you still hear me? It says bad connection. I just want to make sure you could, Yep. Thing is with BLM is that they only care about being the victim. Well, to be honest, it's a very, very complicated issue. And to be clear, I totally agree with, we may disagree on this, but I totally agree with the protesting of innocent black lives being taken by police. My issue with Black Lives Matter is not that. It's not about the victim. About they're trying to be a victim. No, the fact is that there's a very serious problem in this country with law enforcement. Okay? That is a fact. My issue is more with the hypocrisy and the double standard that exists with groups like Black Lives Matter. That's where they lose me at. Because my thing is, there's no way that you should be making a huge protest, which I agree with, but then when a black youth takes the life of another black youth, you don't hear shit. You hear crickets. No one says nothing. Like I said, this little beautiful boy with his literally his whole life ahead of him, 2 years old, is shot by his own father. And not even the mayor of this city, lovely Warren, not even the mayor even takes 10 fucking minutes. Excuse my language. It just gets me upset. Not even the mayor takes 10 minutes to denounce this violence that robbed a little boy of his future. You know? I'm sorry, I'm trying to navigate here. Hold on. Hold on, guys. It's just really dark here already. You can still hear me. Thank you. Listen, we're just under an hour and time literally. Why are you risking you and your children? Have you been able to make a difference with any of it? You know, and I missed your name. I apologize. I was so busy trying to read the comment. You know, that's a great question. If you don't know about me and my history, you know, Google my blog. Basically, my dad was an activist here. He was a pioneer. Karen, thank you. Yep. He was a pioneer when it came to cop watching. He was one of the first very vocal police accountability activists here. And the Rochester, New York Police Department retaliated against him with something that is not often talked about. And it's not a physical beating, which are bad. It is one of the worst things that police do, law enforcement do. It is a selected targeting of an individual and a psychological beatdown of intimidation and harassment. And that is what they did to my dad. It got so bad that he wouldn't even leave the house at the end. And in July 9th, 1993, my dad committed suicide while I was home downstairs watching TV and while my mom was in the kitchen cooking. So I forget if it was Karen that asked that, you know, have I made a difference? I don't know. And that's a great question, and it's something that I have, you know, I know I have in some ways. When I get emails and when I get people as far away as the UK and other countries I can't pronounce, who tell me, you know, they're more aware of police interaction. They record the police now. You know, I want to believe that I have made a difference. But it's a great question. It's a question that I ask. Thank you, Karen. Yeah, and that's, a lot of people don't know that, and that's okay. You know, my dad is what drives me. I miss him every day. My dad's been gone 25 years. It'll be 25 years next July, I'm sorry. And, you know, he suffered a lot at the hands of the police. And, you know, I always tell people it's easy to label someone and say, what the hell's wrong with this angry, bald-headed Cuban guy? You know, is he a cop hater? You know, and the truth is that it's very easy to label someone and much harder to ask oneself what happened to that guy or what happened to that woman. In other words, man or woman, it's hard to ask, hey, what happened? Why are they the way they are? What happened in their life? Because that would call for opening a door, right? And many people don't want to open that door. They don't want to open that door of pain. So yeah, I mean, the story, some of you know it, some don't, is basically, you know, I made a promise to my dad at his wake that I would continue his fight. And here I am, almost 25 years later. You don't break promises, you know? Listen, I love y'all. It's about to be an hour. Stay tuned for some videos tonight. Let's do this again. Thank you as always so much for watching. I appreciate every single one of you for taking the time out. Thank you.